So I'm making a video really quick to show you how to access Book Creator and how to do the assessment on it. I know this is the practice assessment for Theseus, but then you'll also do one for another myth. But anyways, you want to make sure you're on the daily slides or on the Theseus to-do list if I separate it in Schoology. So you should have already done all of these things, including reading and annotating the myth before you get to this mediums analysis. So like you can scroll past those things. I do want you to remember the warning that Greek mythology does have nudity often, and we just need to not be distracted by it. You don't need to bring it up in your writing. It's just there. Okay. But anyways, you're going to look through this information and make sure you understand it. And then you'll want to go to this slide. You need this slide for two things. You need it for the link to Book Creator, and you'll need it so you can grab your class's code. Okay. So the code is dependent on which class period you're in. So make sure you're using the correct one. When you first get to this, you might have to go ahead and log in on your Google account. But you also want to make sure that it's that yellow background. If it is not the yellow background, if it's blue, you're signing in as a teacher, which you can do, that's fine, but you won't be able to access what I'm trying to have you do. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to just copy and paste that code. And remember, it depends on which class you're in. So that might not necessarily be the class that you are supposed to be joining for the book. Once you're in here, you can do a couple of things. One, you could just flat out play this. You can look through it because this gives you all the information. So I'm kind of going through it. I see my directions. I see the myth. And it tells me like stuff I need to fill in. And then it gives me my other possible mediums. And you can click on those. Those are links that will take you to what you need to be able to do. And then these are what you're going to be filling in on your own copy. You'll add a picture or part of the poem or song there, and then you'll answer those questions about the emphasized details or downplayed, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to do that with two different mediums. So the medium, meaning you can't have two poems, you can't have two pieces of art. It needs to be a combo of those. Sorry about the toilets. I'm on potty patrol. Anyways, so make sure you're picking two different mediums off that list. Again, this is the list I'm talking about. So you can do one artwork and one poetry, or one artwork and one music, or one music and one poetry, whatever. But so you're going to choose those. And then what you end up doing after you've analyzed each one, you're going to write a well-developed paragraph analyzing all three versions. So the myth, medium 1, medium 2, for details that are emphasized, downplayed, or absent. And you're kind of thinking about why the artist would choose to do things the way they did them. From there, you can see that it's the end of the book. So you want to go back to the library, and this one is set up so you can remix it. You need to be able to click on it. Oh, sorry, you should already be in it. And then you click on this remix button. The remix button lets you add things. So you want to make sure that you're adding it to the correct copy of, or like correct library. So it's the one you were in. So it should just be that one. And you're going to go copy to library. And then you can go to library, and it will just open up your new one. So the one that takes the longest to load is going to be your copy of it. I think the most important thing for you to do so you can find it more easily is when it does load. I don't know why it hasn't loaded yet. When it does load, you need to start making changes to it. So to change this, you need to go in there and you're going to change it to your name. Okay. And you're going to push done and see how it changes on there now. Then you want to go on to the next slide. Read through those directions. It tells you exactly what to do. You're noticing details. And we talked about that with the Heracles one. This one is much easier and more useful or usable, but you are kind of doing the same things. So make sure you've read through the myth. If you need to look back at it or access it, you can click on it there. You can also use your blue packet to help you look back through your annotation. So don't forget that you do need to fill in this box that says summarize the myth in a few sentences, give the highlight reel of the myth. So just give me the high points. Who's it about? What happened? You can use the answers that you put on the back of your words/names help document because it has those questions that you're supposed to answer. I hope you answered them because those will help you in this part. Then remember, you want to start looking through and picking out your other two mediums. You're welcome to look through all of them, but you can go ahead and look through all of these different types. If you click on these links, it'll take you to where it is. So this is where you can look at all the different artistic mediums. So these are all art. There's no sculpture. I think it's all paintings. You can also look through the art analysis help. That just gives you some ideas of things to notice. And it gives you kind of like a step-by-step process to like notice things about art. Do the same thing with this link to poetry and this link to music. It's totally up to you what you choose to use. Just don't forget that you do need to choose them. You don't need to do anything to this page other than use it to choose things. On the next one, you're going to make sure you add a picture or part of the poem or song. You can do it by taking a screenshot. You can do it by copy and pasting. It's totally up to you, but I do need to know which medium. Then in this box to the side, you need to do, what do you notice about this version of the myth? What details are emphasized, downplayed, or absent? So this can be bullet points. I don't expect anything paragraphy here, but you're just comparing what the existing myth that you read and how it kind of looked different or the same as what you expected with reading the myth. So like I said, make sure that you're doing those bullet points, that you're noticing differences, emphasis, downplayed, absent. Again, forgive me for like all the starts and stops because I am still on bathroom duty right now, so I have to keep stopping to talk to people. So after you do it for medium number 1, you need to choose another medium and do that for the same thing. You're answering the same questions. Make sure you add a picture or part of it. And then you're going to go on to that last page. So you're going to write a well-developed paragraph analyzing all 3 versions. So thinking about the myth, medium 1 and medium 2, and you're really talking about what's emphasized, downplayed, or absent, and like how you see them kind of like work together or work separately. What do you think the artist was trying to do? Why did they do the things that they did? I do recommend, highly recommend, that you reread what you wrote, make sure it makes sense. You can also use an online editor. I'm not sure that Turnitin Draft Coach will work on this, but it could be like you use Grammarly, Paperwriter, stuff like that, just copying and pasting your paragraph in there, because I will be checking this for good ideas, but also that it makes sense and that you have proper grammar and things. And look at that rubric that you have access to. That's exactly how I'm grading this, okay? So that's pretty much it. To turn it in, you just are done with it. You don't have to click anything. I'll look for it on it. So do keep in mind that this one about Theseus is not an assessment grade. It's in your formative, but I will be able to give you feedback on this one so that you can do better on the actual assessment. So make sure you take it seriously. Let me know if